Simplest way to start a video is just turn it on and see what comes to mind. I've been like here for 5 minutes thinking, okay, so what should I talk about? Good dawning, the dawning of a new era. Who's morning? First thing you talk about is the weather. When I'm sitting out on the deck when we're supposed to be drenched in a hurricane, and I thought about it, I says, what? I don't need to be drenched uh, in a in a zone where things are chaotic. And I said, no, I don't see where it's gonna benefit me. And don't feel like it. So I just said to the skies, leave us alone. And we've had a drizzle here and a drizzle there, but no big deal. Um, friend was showing me the weather pattern and how weird it is and how the sandstorms and the deserts are not creating the hurricanes, but the hurricanes are coming from different places now and all this kind of thing. Observation, observation, observation. But the only observation is really that nothing is the same anymore. And people are really waking up. And what's waking up is to understand, to me, waking up is understanding how our thoughts are actually trapping us. And so the word this morning that came out was desire. And then the whole conversation was about, basically urge, desire, sexual desire. And I quickly uh, just saw everything. It's like, oh, so the desire that's programmed into our biology is cross-wired with the emotional aspect of your failed you, and it actually collapses on itself. The judgmental field of thinking that person is too old, too whatever, actually creates it upon yourself because you enter into the self-judgment field. And we can go on with these. I mean, I can show you. Um, I actually was very clear about it because I was in the moment of seeing it. But now I have to remember it, so it's gonna come from the other side. So I like these conversations I want to have online is not where it's coming from my ego side because that's the problem. And when I say ego side, I'm talking about everything you see, everything you speak, every thought that comes into your head that is in a survival mode or breathing or anything that is in this reality is the ego matrix. And not good or bad, experiential, yes, it's all about experiencing. So as I gave a little story this morning, which came from my like logical side, would be like now a great spirit would have to come down, knowing full well it would be its own worst enemy, come down into a reverse thing, forget who or she they were, and then actually fought themselves. I mean, everything. They went against themselves, and then to a point where they realized that everything was themselves in that thought matrix, reversing the thoughts on themselves, creating the judgments on themselves, and actually causing a non-flowing reality. Anxiety, friction. So anything that gives you anxiety, I don't care what it is, the food you eat, the things you smoke, the things you drank last night, I don't care what it is. Any form of anxiety is friction to flow. In the ego matrix, anxiety gets you going. Don't get up your lazy ass and worry about who's gonna see you and you're anxious about. So it keeps you on the edge, but actually in your spiritual side of going faster and faster and faster, it's the brakes. Something came up else this morning was the reverse of strength. Something I've known for a long time. It's that if you are the powerful spirit, humility is the opening, the middle, the middle 0 point of letting the energy come through of the ultimate power. So it's, if you don't go to humility, then you got breaks, you got arrogance, and that becomes the friction. And then when your expectations are not met, then that becomes the anxiety. And then when that anxiety happens, you're pressing on the brakes while you're pressing on the gas. And this is why things became stagnant, is that the brakes were giving energy away. It's not exactly brakes, it's like giving energy to everything that doesn't serve you. And the gas is the acceleration of acceptance. The acceleration of acceptance. I accept, I accept, I accept, I accept. I have no restrictions. There is nothing against me but me. So the doorway into the 0 point acceptance reality is the gateway into 5D. We can rewind it because I can't repeat it. That look like that tree up there looks like a tree of life. It's a eucalyptus tree and it's perfect. It looks like the drawing of the tree of life. And I hope you can zoom in and see it because, oh yeah, this is a good video site, so it's not live. Live gives you a terrible video. This one takes up a lot more data, but looks a lot clearer. And for some reason, not as many views if I put it on YouTube. So once you link up to Facebook on YouTube, somehow, not saying nobody, but like 3 people give it attention versus 33 people. So something's up with that. There's a lot of things that been happening on that Facebook that I've noticed. And by the way, one of the things I wanted to talk about in the, because giving my thoughts freely sometimes it's not helpful to everyone because everybody's not there. I get it. So I'm going to talk about the things like the weather. And the weather that we share in common is Facebook. No. My sister sent me something yesterday. I started to read it, and it was about another cure that was being hidden, and it mentioned the Clintons and what his name is, FUICA, whatever the friggin' bullshit. I didn't pay attention to these characters anymore. Yeah, I get so many like imprints of like, but I don't give them power. I just like, oh, so that's the characters playing that role. That's the characters playing that role. No, I put that up yesterday. And the second I put it up, bam, 24 hours. Like, what? Oh, what? You afraid of this message? Ooh, interesting. I've never been like banned from Facebook for 24 hours. I think one time somebody sent me something from Africa and it was this Chinese guy and it was organ donating and it showed a tit and it took an hour for them to go, hey, but this one here was instant. So the AI just picked up the wording. So now I really want to share it with you, but I'm in the light, I can't read. And I don't know how I'm. Oh yeah, I'll just put it to OCR and change the E's into 3's and the 7's into T's and the O's into 0's and stuff like that. And then the AI will get confused. It'll go, can't read it. And this is another coding that maybe we have to do is actually post handwriting because the AI has a hard time reading handwriting. The human brain can say, oh, that's a T and whatever, but the computers doesn't make sense to them anymore because it's going round and whatever. So I was thinking about that, like the messages that we need to send through the AI program on we use our crab toes. That's what they used to say when they saw my handwriting. Are you a doctor? Or the teacher used to say, it looks like crab toes writing. So, um, hardly legible. But sometimes I can't even read it back. And it's like, what is that? So, one of the attributes I've always had is bad spelling, bad handwriting. Um, didn't give a shit about grammar, always being corrected about grammar. But not so bad because I speak how I speak and I prefer the way I speak than the robots out there who are trained to speak. But yet, Google Talk can't understand me. You have to be like,
Talk like this to get them to understand me.
because it's all a North American program. And because we don't speak in our noses, yeah, I'm gonna do that because the North American program has been running this planet. Hollywood, Holywood, casting spells on everyone, sending up satellites and programming the whole world, and everyone is trying to simulate the North American program. Yeah, so if I'm in the North American program's face, and you are another infinite spirit, you got me, you see me. If you're in your ego state and you're in red, white, and blue, and all these kind of things, you ain't nothing to me. I'm here to wipe out your program. You don't know it's good for you, but you're in your program, and it doesn't make any difference what you think. You're not there, so you mean nothing until you dissolve that program. So, in the thought matrix of understanding how we're thinking and what programs are running, you have to start thinking about every aspect of what, why, and how we thought, how we got there, and then reason with it, or accept that everything was a lie, and you go into your little quiet space of self of what you really enjoyed from your heart, and don't try to accept that you rejected it. And it was all there waiting for to come back to you when you accepted, oh my God, that's really how I wanted it, that's how I felt it. And start living in that so that the outer reality, that would be your 0 point. The acceptance of you being true to you without reactions to everything else that's telling you, don't, you better add that advice, opinion, and all these other projections that you're not on our side, you know? And this is why I'm speaking to the North American program. It's not that I'm not on a side, I'm on the side of great spirits who came to undo the program. And my job is not easy because I have to go against billions of you, knowing full well that the way you took down my brother, the one you call Jesus, and that's what I call him, my brother. And anybody that says anything about, he didn't respect it, fuck you too. From the above to the below, that's what you get. So my brother said, oh shit, I see everything, but I gotta have to put myself in a category of being remembered. And the only way these people remember, the program, the ego program remembers, is to be sacrificial. And he entered into the slaughter